guidelines for playing one no trump. And one no trump, especially for relatively inexperienced players, is often seen like quite a challenging contract to be in, because very often you don't have a great source of tricks. You have to try to manufacture your tricks from somewhere and be patient. It's not like playing three no trump, where you often have a long suit that you will run. So I would say the first thing is try not to panic when you're left in one no trump, and just calmly go through your best option, consider different options, how to play this. And your techniques are going to be just the same as in other no trump contracts. You're going to be establishing your suits, remembering to lead towards your honors, finessing, thinking about your entries. That's often a critical thing in no trump, because you may find that one hand is very weak, has very few entries, and taking advantage of the opponent's lead, whatever they lead, that may help you. And what you don't want to do is just cash your top tricks. So we'll look at some examples of all of this in a moment. But let's start off with this hand here, where you open one no trump. And we're playing here Acol, where one no trump is typically weak bid 12 to 14 points, and it gets passed out. And let's suppose the opponent's lead a spade. And what you need to do in no trump, in one no trump or any no trump contract, is to start off by counting your top tricks. So I'd like you to look at the two hands together, and I've got a poll in a moment, and the question is, how many top tricks do you have? I'm going to share the results with you now. And vast majority, 76%, said 2, but a number of people said 5 or 6. And the answer is, of course, you just have 2 top tricks there, the ace and king of hearts. Now, those of you who thought you have more than that, you don't understand the concept of top tricks. Top tricks are tricks you can take right away without losing the lead. And in no trump here, you've just got 2 top tricks. Now, of course, you're going to make more tricks in the other suits. And what you need to do is think about where you're most likely to make tricks. Well, in spades, I'm going to make at least 1 trick. And apart from that, I think clubs look like a good source of tricks. Hearts could provide an extra trick, and diamonds could provide tricks, although the diamond suit is one I'm not going to attack myself. It might be better if I leave that suit to the opponents to lead. But I think the suit I'm going to go for is clubs when I get the chance. Now, I have a choice of what to play at trick 1. West has led the 6 of spades, which is presumably their 4th highest from their best suit. So it's possible they've got the ace. So I think I'm going to try the king or the queen here. And if that wins a trick, I now think I'll probably be able to make 2 spade tricks, because the ace of spades is probably on my left with the West hand. So I think I should be able to make 2 spade tricks. But I'm not going to go after spades, of course. That's one of my weaker suits. I'm going to go after clubs and start by leading low towards the king of clubs, planning to win in the short hand. So I'll play the king here. And if that wins a trick, I'll return a club. I'm hoping to make 3 clubs here with a bit of luck. And obviously, if West were to play the ace, it would be easy. At this point, what should I play from the north hand? You may think that you should play the queen or the jack. I actually ran this suit combination through suit play, and believe it or not, it says the best card to play at this point is actually the 9, although in fact it works out on this layout. It doesn't really matter. But if you follow suit play's advice, you'll play the 9 rather than the queen or the jack. And on this layout, East will take the ace. So now your 2 clubs are established. If they play a spade back, well, West can take the ace, but it sets up your king. And now we've taken the king. We're going to cash our 2 clubs that we set up, I think. And we need to think a bit about what to discard here. Let's suppose I discard a diamond and maybe discard a heart. So that's 5 tricks. So now my contract is guaranteed. I can make the 2 heart tricks, but I'm in dummy, so I think I'm going to try a diamond finesse. Now, I'm not quite sure what is the right card to play here. It depends, it's sort of a bit of guessing, but I'm going to lead a diamond. And even though I expect to lose the lead here, I'm not that vulnerable in any suit. If you were paying attention in spades, there's actually just 1 high spade out. So I'm not too worried. I'm sure I'll be able to get in. And when you play the diamond, you're hoping that East does something that will help you. So if East plays the ace, then that, of course, clears up the position for you. Now you're going to make at least 1 more trick in diamonds. If they maybe switch to a heart, you can now win those 2 hearts and cash the king of diamonds. And that's probably going to be it. If I bring up the rest of the hands, I don't think I can make any more. They'll get in and take the last 2 tricks. But I'll be able to make 8 tricks. So that's the 2 top tricks plus another 6. 2 spades, 3 clubs, and a diamond. Okay, so that's a kind of situation. You've just got to remember to pick on the best suit to play here, which is probably clubs, and you also will pick up some tricks in the other suits as well. But I suppose don't despair on a hand like this where you've only got 2 top tricks, because the other tricks will come. Let's try this one here, and this time North has opened 1 diamond, and you've got 7 points. You'd like to bid your club suit, but 2 clubs would show more like 10 points. So you bid 1 no trump, and that's passed out. And the opponents here lead the 7 of hearts. And again, we've got to have a little think and count our top tricks and look at where we're going to make more. So in hearts, I've got 1 top trick. I've got 2 top tricks in diamonds and 2 top tricks in clubs. But I think clubs should be a good source of tricks, but I need to think about my entries, because I have very few entries to the south hand, no entries outside of the club suit. So if I were to just play the ace king, then I would probably only make 2 tricks, because I'd never be able to cash a rest. So once you see that, you can see you're going to need to duck a club early on. Still, let's go back to trick 1, and that lead, I'm definitely not going to play the ace here. I'm going to play the jack or the 10. And if East plays the king, that's good news, because if West has made their normal lead from their stronger suit, they almost certainly have the queen. So that means I'm going to take 2 heart tricks now. West, having won the king, might well decide not to lead a heart, because they can see they're leading into dummy strength. But suppose they do, then of course I can win the jack there. And now I'm going to go after the clubs, but I'm going to lose the first trick. So don't make the mistake of playing the ace here. Just lose the first trick. Whatever they play, if they play another heart, I can win that one. And now I'm playing the clubs. And when everyone follows, the rest of my clubs are all good now. So I can cash those clubs. And I've now got 2 diamonds to come as well. I'm probably not going to try the spade finesse, because I'd be wide open in spades if that goes wrong. So let's just take my 8 tricks. And if I just bring up the 4 hands, whatever happens now, they'll get in and be able to take the remaining tricks. But I'll make 8 tricks there. And
so, Tony, can I ask you a question? When they got in again, they played a heart. Supposing West would have led a spade.
Yeah, I mean, let's go.
What would you have done then?
Let's go back to the beginning. Well, yeah. So actually, at this point here, so they win the first trick. You're saying East plays a heart here, yeah, and then when they play the club, they get in. Yeah. You're actually right. West does best here not to carry on in hearts, And in fact, if I click on the GIB button at this point, it's saying that the best thing for West to lead is the Queen of Spades.
Right.
And in fact, if they do, they can make one more trick because they will trap my king, and they'll be able to make those spade tricks. But I'll still make my contract. But yes, West did not find the right defense of playing the Queen of Spades.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's a good observation. But then, of course, you often rely on your opponents to help you by not finding exactly the best defense. Let's try another one. And here again, you open one no trump. Here you've got a 5-card club suit, but it's absolutely normal to open one no trump, even with a 5-card minor. And let's suppose the opponents lead a heart, and down comes dummy, and you need to stop to make a plan here. And we're going to think about our top tricks here. Let's start off counting our top tricks. So I've got another poll for you, which is how many top tricks do you have this time? I was hoping there that everyone was going to get this one right. So 95% of you said 5, and one person said 4. And of course, most of you are right here. You've got 1 spade trick, no heart tricks, 1 diamond, and you've got 3 top clubs. So you have 5 top tricks there. And this hand is typical no trump, where they lead a suit where you don't really have any stoppers here. So I'd like you to think about what your plan is on this hand. What's your best chance to add to those 5 top tricks? And we're going to have another question in a moment, which is about what you're going to discard, because the opponents start off with the ace of hearts. They play the 9 of hearts back to the partner's queen. They play a 3rd round of hearts, East discarding. And then they play a 4th round of hearts. Now you've got to find some discards here from each hand. And of course, the key to this hand is thinking about what your plan was at the beginning. Beginners will just sort of do things like discard their lowest card, their 2s and 3s. But of course, you need to think about what your plan was and where your extra tricks are going to come from. So let's suppose you start off discarding the 2 of spades. East plays the 2 of clubs, and suppose you play the 4 of spades. West now plays their last heart, and suppose you play another spade from dummy. East plays the 5 of diamonds, and I've got the 3rd poll for you. What are you going to play from the south hand? So look at the results. And most of you gone for a diamond, followed by a spade, and one person said a club. And what do we think? Well, I agree. I think it's probably best to discard a diamond here. You could discard a spade, although there are some prospects that you can make 2 spade tricks. So if you think about this, West has just played their last heart. If they have the king of spades and they play a spade, maybe we can make 2 spade tricks. You could still make 2 spade tricks even if you discard a spade, probably. But the one suit you want to hang on to is your clubs. You started with 5 clubs in the south hand and 2 in the north hand, so 7. The opponents have got 6 clubs. So the odds are that they may not run. You may not be able to take all those clubs. But if someone has a 4-card club suit and has discarded a club, maybe that will be the best source. Maybe you'll be able to make all those clubs in that case. So the suit to hang on to is clubs here, and just discard something else. I would probably discard a diamond. If they play a spade now, it gives me a chance perhaps to make a trick with my queen if West has led away from the king. So let's suppose I try playing the 10. Doesn't work on this occasion. They take their king, and then they switch to a diamond, which of course I win. And now I'm going to try the club suit. And I'll just bring up the 4 hands at this point. And you can see that when I play the clubs, they're going to run. I'm going to make all those club tricks. Okay, I'm getting the 7, the 4, and the ace of spades at the end. So I'll just make my my contract there. You can see that what happened was, as West was cashing all those hearts, East had to find some discards too, and they ended up discarding from a 4-card club suit there. So because of that, you were able to run all your clubs there. It turns out on this hand that the opponents can defeat you if they lead a heart here, but in all probability, when they cash all those 5 hearts, East has to find 3 discards and may well end up discarding a club, which helps you. East doesn't really know that you have a 5-card club suit, doesn't really know that he needs to hang on to those clubs, which could have defeated the contract. But nonetheless, you need to keep in mind, keep your clubs, because there's a chance they'll run anyway, or even if someone has a 4-card club suit, they may discard, and you'll be able to make all 5 club tricks. Let's have a look at another one. This is actually one that was played face-to-face a long time ago, before lockdown. And I'd like you to make a plan on this one. Again, you open 1 no trump, and that's passed out. And the opponents lead the 3 of spades. So I'd like you to start off by counting your tricks. And then I'm going to launch the last poll of the afternoon. And the poll question is, after you gain the lead in spades, which suit are you going to play next? So after you gain the lead in spades, which suit should you play? Give you a moment to think about that. Okay, let's have a look at the results. And most of you have gone for a club, 3/4, and 1/4 went for a heart. And let's have a look at this. Well, we have 6 top tricks on this hand, don't we? We've got 2 spades, 2 hearts, 1 diamond, and 1 club. 6 tricks. This would be the easiest hand to count your top tricks on. And obviously we need at least 1 more trick from somewhere. And yes, I agree. I think probably the best chance is to make at least 1 more trick in clubs. All it needs in clubs is that the suit divides 3-2, and you should be able to make 1 more trick there. Hearts is another possibility, but the odds of making an extra trick there are not quite as good. So I would go after clubs here. And we're going to have a look at how it goes if you do play clubs. As I said, when this hand was actually played, which was several years ago, most people played this in 1 no trump, but most people playing in 1 no trump went down. So I suspect they just cashed their top tricks and weren't able to set up another trick here. You can see most people did not make 1 no trump. 3 people did make it. So yeah, I'm going to go after the clubs here. Now, it turns out it doesn't matter too much on this hand whether you win the first one, but let's suppose you duck the first one and win the second one with the ace. And now I'm going to play the clubs. Now I expect to lose 2 clubs here. So quite a good way to play this kind of holding where you've got 8 cards and 1 top card is to start off by losing the first one, letting them win that one. They may well switch back to a spade. And obviously we've got to discard something here, maybe a diamond. And now let's play another club. And this time I'm going to win this one, because if I do, now 8 clubs have gone, and there's just one more club out, and I can force it out and establish one more club. Now, you may be worried here about letting the opponents in, but one thing when you're in one no trump is that it's not that many tricks. And even if the opponents get in, I've just brought up the 4 hands there, even if they get in, they won't be able to take enough spades to defeat you in such a low contract. So the right thing to do is to play a club here. On this occasion, East wins, although even if West had won and was able to cash 2 spades, it wouldn't be enough to defeat you. So whatever they play back now, if they play a diamond, you can win that and finally cash your club. Okay, and then you can make 2 more heart tricks. Okay, after that, you're probably going to lose the rest of these. They'll take the last tricks, but you'll make your extra trick, which was a club there. Turns out on this hand, you can also make the extra trick in hearts. So with this favorable layout in hearts, if you start off with the ace king, the jack 10 will drop, and you'll be left with a 9-8, and you'll be able to make an extra trick there. So it works either if you go after hearts or if you go after clubs here. But it seems that most people who played this didn't do that, probably just cash their 6 tricks. And if you do that, then you'll be down 1. Any comments or questions on that? Do let me know. And I just want to end with this one hand, which was actually played in a game, played 2 different ways. And both times it was played in one no trump. And let's suppose the opponents lead a club here. Now, that lead of a club, you open one no trump, your partner passes. Your partner's got a pretty nice hand for you, perhaps not quite enough to invite game. And we start off again by counting our top tricks. And I think we've got 1 spade, 1 heart, 1 diamond. And we start off with just 1 club trick, but actually we can count this as 2 club tricks, 2 top tricks, because we're going to be, because of that lead, we're going to be able to make 2 clubs without letting the opponents in, wherever the king of clubs is. So we start off here once we see dummy, and once they've led a club, with 5 top tricks. Okay, and in addition to those 5, there's obviously some chances to make other tricks elsewhere. There's diamonds to make, there's spades we can finesse in, or hearts as well. But I'll just show you how this declarer played this hand. They won the first trick with the ace, and they led back a club. And I see inexperienced players do this from time to time. It's a terrible, terrible play. I mean, they've led clubs, and now you've sort of leading their suit for them. You're knocking out your only entry to the club suit. But this is how it was played. They then switched to spades, and they didn't try any finesse. They just took their ace. They then cashed their ace of diamonds, and then they played a heart, and they took their ace there. And they've now made their 5 top tricks. And believe it or not, at this point, that was all they made. So what happened next was that they played a spade. West won with the king and switched back to a club. East won that, and East made the good play here of switching to hearts, and it trapped declarer's queen. So they didn't make any heart tricks. They then took their king of diamonds and were able to cash their clubs. And at the end, they also made a heart trick. So this declarer just made the 5 tricks that they started off with. How should this one have gone? Well, obviously you have great chances in many suits. So if they lead the same thing, this was how it was played another time. And I would probably go after the diamonds. The diamonds has a great chance of setting up tricks and probably only losing 1 trick along the way. So if you leave the jack of diamonds and finesse, you're sort of doing a double finesse here. East can win that. Suppose they lead a club and knock out your queen. I suppose you discard a heart on that. And then you go back to diamonds. Suppose you play a diamond, the king comes up, and now all your diamonds are good. The diamond suit is blocked a bit, but you won't have any trouble making 3 diamonds. So let's take 2 diamonds in our hand. And now we want to get to dummy, and we may as well try the spade finesse. We've made 5 tricks, and we're probably going to make a number more. Even if the spade finesse loses, they're unlikely to be able to take enough clubs to defeat us. I've already taken 2 club tricks. So I'll try the spade finesse, and here this one works. So I'll repeat the finesse. I carry on in spades. I cash my diamond there that was set up and carry on in spades. And I'm able to take 10 tricks at this point. I'm now going to lead a heart, and I think I've probably got enough. I don't think I'll try that finesse on the last heart, because 11 tricks is probably going to be a good score here. As it is, East discards, so you know there's no finesse available. You'll just take your 11th trick and lose the last heart trick. So a pretty unremarkable hand in a way, but just shows the difference it can make, making 11 tricks instead of the 5 tricks that one person managed to make. So it's all about establishing your long suits and leading towards your honors and that kind of thing, rather than just cashing your top tricks, which is a disaster on this hand. Anyone have any comments or questions on that one? So so that's it for the talk today. We'll start the game at 2 o'clock, and I'll say goodbye to you all. If anyone needs a partner now, you can speak up now, and we can try and pair you up, or you can just join the game over the next few minutes. All right. But for the rest of you, I'll say goodbye now, and I'll see you online in about 10 minutes.